Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler, Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I am fantastic. Dream Theater just won its first Grammy. So, even though that doesn't mean much, but still, it's awesome that after decades of wonderful music, they finally get recognized. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm doing well. As I can tell, you're celebrating as you're wearing the Theater shirt in honor of, for those listening on the audio version. Also with us, Flesh Wound producer Todd, probably chilling.
I am.
And there you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this week we had the pleasure, if that's the word you'd like to use, to review, and we will be discussing Cheech and Chong's next movie. Rated R, released on January 1st, 1980, with a runtime of 99 minutes. This was a follow-up to Up in Smoke, which was actually released on September 15th, 1978. So the turnaround time on that is about 14, 15 months there. So pretty quick turnaround there. Todd, do you have the trailer ready?
I do.
Let's roll it.
Well, last time you didn't do it.
I know. That's why I said it this time. So let's roll it.
Yeah, right there. Okay, let's try. Mexican Americans don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music and white girls named Debbie too.
In the tradition of the great comedy teams, war and pestilence,
Are you ready for the end of time?
death and taxes,
Responsibility is a heavy responsibility, man.
bad breath, and body odor.
What, you so fast, smell armpits?
And punk rock comes Cheech and Chong.
You murderers!
They walk, they talk, and now they make number two.
I got nowhere to go.
Well, go see a movie or something.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
All right, this is the tape. Mark it.
It's the film that spits when it sings.
Hey,
The film that never changes its underwear. The film that leaves a stain on the theater screen.
Dirty and filthy and deceived!
we ain't dressed right. That's why we ain't getting no respect. When you go into these neighborhoods, man, you gotta have your stuff all together, man. You gotta have your attitude and your whole trip down, man. You know, everybody throws their bad looks at you, you know?
Is it a love story?
Take you all over for a dime. Okay, for free, then.
Is it a thriller?
Too much. Shake 'em, you won't break 'em.
Is it a musical?
Treat me like food. Treat me mean and cruel.
Is it a foreign film?
I think they're Iranians.
Is it an alien attack?
Oh, look at that!
For the answers to these and other fundamental questions,
He is that way.
see Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Come on, let's go, man. This looks like good fun.
Because at a time like this, what everybody really needs is a good hit.
Yeah, I don't think you better light it in here, man.
What?
That's gas fumes, man.
Oh, man.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
All right. I apologize. It's just I realized something while watching this trailer is that when you watch a trailer, you're like, oh, wow, I wonder how all this stuff is going to make sense together. We'll get to that shortly.
I was like,
No.
I'm noticing something for the first time. So.
Yeah. So this was written and directed, of course, by Cheech Marin and Tommy Chung, directed by Tommy Chung, while Up in Smoke was directed by Lou Adler. This was just purely, or Thomas Chung, as it's credited in the opening credits. I felt this was initial thoughts is I felt this was front loaded with a lot of the humor, and then after about 35 minutes, it's like, oh wow, we got this much more to go.
A lot of stoner comedies do that, though.
No, there's more of a
There-
point to some now. Like,
I know, but a lot of them are front loaded. Maybe not as
oh
like
no,
this
front
one is.
loaded. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
so in terms of when I say front loaded, the humor, sure, but front loaded is in terms of like everything worth watching is in the first about 35 minutes, and then it's just, well, how does this end? And like I alluded to, and after we came back from the trailer just now, doesn't really make sense. Just kind of thrown together on a wall. Greg?
Oh, this is a great like background movie. Like where
There
you
you
have it
go.
playing and you turn over and you're like, what the fuck? And like you're like, that's weird, but I'm okay with it as long as I'm not paying total attention.
Maybe like over a game of like Monopoly or something, you could have that on in the background, just kind of look
Right.
up every now and then, see what's going on where no one's gonna be like, hold on, you guys, I'm paying attention to what's happening. That's not that wouldn't happen with this movie.
So
Yeah.
it's funny, like, because even while watching it, like you said, it is pretty front loaded. And then there's just like something to get you to the next step. And then at the end, like, not only did it not make sense with the rest of the movie, it just didn't make sense. But like it was in the kind of way that it's like, if I was messed up watching this, I'd be totally okay with this.
I was
Yeah.
in a very good zone while watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
I was in a great zone. It didn't help.
Hmm.
I needed to be in a greater zone. If
Maybe.
I think that's what the case is. How about your initial thoughts, Todd?
I've loved this one since a child. Now I want to tell you this like real quick. The television
Since a child,
version,
how old were you when you first saw
I
this?
don't know. I was under 10.
Are you
Okay.
pulling an Ozzy?
No, because here's the thing: the television version was much different. Instead of the big bag of weed, they're carrying a big bag of diamonds, and there's a whole bunch of little stuff like in between. So it makes it make even less sense. But as like a 10-year-old, this shit was hilarious. You know what I mean?
I love how they would have a big bag of diamonds, but live where they live. You know, like,
well, no, that's yeah. I can't remember. I wish I remember the ending of the TV version. It
oh
might be
my
on the
gosh,
Blu-ray.
that's absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I had to give this. This does win my snooze award, the Ozzy V snooze award, as I did
Uh-oh.
fall asleep. You know, as I did with cold brew or strange brew, rather. I did fall asleep twice, so that's what I can give it to that. However, I'm not gonna say that this was like completely terrible. There was, like I said, there are some really funny moments in the beginning there. I actually got a few, so I'll let you guys go for it. Greg, how about you?
Well, the funniest moment to me was a moment that was not intended to be funny. Yeah, they're talking to each other about a business plan that they want to put together. And I believe it was Tommy Chung that says, you see, dope is gonna be legal in like 10 years, man. I was like, if only. So I was like, that was a fun moment, but an actual funny moment, like when he has that moment where he goes, I'm fired for what? It was so good. Like such
Yeah.
that moment, like Avi, but yeah, it was fun.
Todd.
I have a couple things, but I'll do one, and then I have like a little bit of like trivia. There's a few. Okay, I'll do this one. When Cheech is trying to get Chong to answer the phone, and he's just like, "Come on, dude, you can have my tie stick and all that." And Chong finally gives in, goes and gets up the phone. He's like, "Okay, yeah, here he is," and just hands him the phone right away.
Right. Yes.
Instead of like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's not here," he just answers it, and yeah.
So I got, I guess maybe my top 5 moments that I just had to say, just because they all kind of different in their own way. Some are subtle and some are just like kind of a swerve that you weren't expecting. Some you'd have to know Spanish to understand. Another you'd have to be a stoner to understand. First one where he talks about, oh man, I'm going to be late for work. It's going to be the 5th time this week, and it's only Tuesday. That's good. If you weren't paying attention, it would just gloss over you. Second one, when he's trying to explain to his whoever he's dating at the movie set, or he's trying to get clothes from, and he explains that he has burning baby all over him. That's pretty good. When Chung takes, like, he has a jar that's labeled roaches. He dumps it out, and out goes an actual roach. He smashes it, and then puts that in the pipe. Then smokes the pipe was funny enough. However, with him coughing uncontrollably, like he's nearly dying, pausing, looking at the pipe, and then still smoking it again, made me die of laughter. When I reference the Spanish joke, when he asks what a pendejo is, oh, it means my really good friend. And then they run into the lawn. Hey, pendejos! Fantastic. In my
I don't
last
think you
one,
need to know. You need to know that much Spanish to know that. If I'm,
but I
dying.
mean, I think without that follow up,
Yeah.
if it was that by itself, that line by itself,
On that line, real quick though, I was like watching this as a background movie when I was rewatching it, and I heard that, and when I first heard it, I was like, "Did he say hey tacos?" That's pretty racist. And then I was like, I rewatched it. I was like, oh, that's even better.
And the last one on here, I completely wasn't expecting, where he says, "Man, if this bitch don't get here soon, I'm gonna have to wait some more." He's gonna do something, but no, he does nothing. And unfortunately, that's what the rest of the movie does. After that moment, pretty much after about that 40-minute mark, it really kind of just again, stuff thrown against the wall, more like sketches and like what
it's
would
like
be
their
album.
albums.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd have to give it now, because these 5 moments I did enjoy. The fact though that they were all in the beginning and after that was practically nothing, I'd have to put it at a 2 for me. I'd have to
Wow.
rate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I fell asleep on it. So I mean, automatically I can't give it higher than a 2.
Right.
So I feel bad, but at the same time, I gotta be honest.
You know, I think I had the benefit of this being a background movie while I was at work. So anything is very nice to have on while bored at work. So maybe it was a great relief for this movie, which made me enjoy it a little bit more. I do want to say, on behalf of white people, we don't all get into weird stuff like clucking like a chicken. So just half of us.
That's because you haven't had the space Coke yet.
That's true. That's true. So, but yeah, I'd have to at least give this a 3.5 because it was enjoyable. It did help with my day. It wasn't great, but I laughed out loud, and at the end when I was like, "What?" Like, it brought me back to some familiar times from my past. So it was kind of nostalgic in a way.
All right. Okay, Todd.
Well, I can't argue with him because that's my exact rating too. I'm also 3.5, and I know some of it's nostalgia, but shocker, not my favorite Cheech and Chong film. If we ever get to it, we'll talk about it. I didn't want to also mention, you guys notice some familiar faces in here, right? Because you have Pee Wee Herman,
Herman, and the
Edie McClure. That's the one you're trying to
the secretary from Ferris Bueller.
Yes, because they're both in the Groundlings. And one more you have to really pay attention to is another Groundling, Elvira. Cassandra Peterson plays one of the hostages.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, there is that, so maybe good for it.
And I do love the "it's a peach" joke. Ain't that a peach? But I love it best when he screws the joke up later.
Yes. Yes. That was so good.
And that's in the second half, but that I was dying this time.
I love a bad joke. So
because they set it up and then he screws. Oh God! So I'm up at the 4 if we don't keep going.
Yeah, well, I was about to say I got nothing else. on this one. Unless you guys have any final thoughts, I have no other thoughts on this film other than what I've said. How about you guys?
This is a, I wouldn't say rent it, but if it's on TV,
I want to say it's streaming on Stars.
hey, yeah, that's worth it. So if you need something on in the background while enjoying your day off or something, for sure.
Sorry, we can't all watch. All right, let's get out of here, Ozzy.
Okay, yeah. Thanks very much for joining us. That is world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd. I'm Ozzy V. We'll see you next week right here on Flesh Wound Farce.